What is up, everybody? This is Derek Kirby with the Dallas Prospect, back with another live stream here. We're going to talk some Mavericks. Now, be aware, I am on let's say a compressed schedule this morning. I have actually class. It's my final semester. I have class at 11, and I got a little bit of a commute, probably about a 20-something minute commute. So I'm probably working with about 20 minutes right now to work with. So I said we were going to do a live stream. We're going to do a live stream. First up, we're going to talk about the newest Mavericks assistant coach. That being, as I adjust my chair, that was all thrown out of whack. That being Jared Dudley. Now, Jared Dudley, he's been around the league for a while. He was with Nash in Phoenix. He was in Brooklyn. You know, he was with the Lakers recently and not really playing. It was kind of like the joke that, like, what he brought to the team was a cup of water, essentially. He didn't really play, but he is a well-liked veteran and a respected individual. And you even had, for instance, when he came on to Kid's coaching staff, so obviously Kid coached him as an assistant with the Lakers the past couple of years. When he came on to Kid's staff, you actually had LeBron on Twitter publicly lamenting him not coming back to the team, which is kind of funny because there wasn't really a role for him. Like, he already didn't have a role, but with how the Lakers have retooled moving forward, Carmelo and Russell Westbrook and all of that, there really wasn't much of a role there. So it's kind of silly, but at the same time, it still carries weight that you have someone of that stature, you know, talking about the loss. And so LeBron commenting on both Kid and Dudley hopefully means something. Now, he's an assistant. He's not going to have a whole lot of say, but maybe this is good from a relationship kind of standpoint, you having someone who knows these players, who has these relationships with these players, and can therefore kind of help you moving forward, because I think that's kind of one of those areas for Kid, at least, that's at least a little bit more iffy. So you got the GM that can do that, you got an assistant that can do that, and then you got Kid, who seems to be pretty good at developing players, although his actual resume as a coach, a little more if you will. But I think overall it's a move that it did come out of nowhere, but I'm not entirely surprised that Kid would look to either someone else that was with that coaching staff or would look to even a player like Dudley to join his staff here. It kind of makes sense that that would happen. And Dudley, you know, we said that this was a quick developing thing in the past couple of days. Dudley seemed to kind of pick up on that as well, that this was in the cards, because you had back in early August, so 2-3 weeks ago, him commenting on the Giannis biography that kind of painted a not so great light of Jason Kidd as a coach. And Dudley said, this is the full quote here, something he said on Twitter: Jason Kidd was a great coach in Milwaukee. The man single-handedly changed the culture. For a guy that was positioning to join Jason Kidd's coaching staff, that's a good public defense. It's also a very expected move, if you will. You're not exactly going to get a lot of pushback from the guy who is looking, like, if he wants the job, he's not going to either be ho-hum about it or worse, be like, yeah, that's messed up, man. Hopefully he does better. He's, of course, going to take that perspective. So I'm not surprised. I'm not really worried about it. I think it's a nice enough move. It doesn't really move the needle for me, but it is what it is. You also have, and I haven't done a show to talk about this, but you also added two-time WNBA champion Kristi Tolliver as an assistant for the Mavericks as well. Not bad. It's not, I don't know much about her resume. I think you're just seeing more female hires in coaching staffs around the league now, which I don't think there's a problem with that. Whether it's trying to, like, check a certain box or something from a PR perspective, like a very pessimistic view has painted it to be, I don't know. I mean, the Mavericks already had I can't remember her name off the top of my head. What was her name? I actually had it in the notes here. Yeah, Jenny Busek, who was with the team in 2018 And obviously to 2020 with Carlisle, she went with him to Indiana. So they've already had a female assistant on the staff. So it's not new. It's not like hey, we need to try and do something here to show that we're moving forward. Like it's just kind of a continuation of what was already there. And because of the filled out coaching staff like it is, like Luka's former coach and now Dudley and some of these other people you've seen brought in, it's not surprising to me, and it's not a big deal. It's not going to detract from anything. So moving on. We move then into my second segment. I assume, by the way, some of you guys are out there. Nothing going on in the comments. I think it's a slow morning. Not a lot of Mavs news. I get it. But we're going to roll with the show as best we can. We move next to Nerlens Noel. Former Maverick Nerlens Noel, who has basically issued a lawsuit against his former agent. Interesting to see how that's going to pan out. Rich Paul was his agent back in the day, and he hasn't been the last couple of years, but he was his agent previously. And famously, Nerlens Noel made the biggest financial blunder in terms of modern NBA history that I can think of. Maybe people could say like Dennis Schroeder now with the Lakers and how he bungled that into just a one-year deal with Boston. That's, I guess, probably actually a better example. But Nerlens Noel turned down, he says at Paul's behest, a 4-year, $70 million contract extension offer from Dallas. This is before Luka Doncic got there. This was when you did have him play with Dennis Smith when Smith was a rookie. But this was a baffling decision. It did not make sense. What up? Seeing you as Big Game James guest. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Work a lot with Big Game. Good dude. Good dude. Appreciate you being here. But Nerlens Noel turning down that contract offer made no sense. One, if he thought he was going to get a better offer from Dallas, he was out of his mind. Noel, he's a nice defensive player, but he has no offensive game to speak of. The modern NBA, even at the time the contract was offered to him, the modern NBA was phasing out his style of play. A big man that can only score on like putbacks or, cleanup work around the rim, no offensive game, and is a good defender. Like, it's too one-dimensional in this game. And so the Mavericks were kind of criticized, like, you offered him what? And then they saw the rest of the headline like, whoa, he turned it down? And then he changed agents in the middle of the situation, and it didn't get any better for him. It did not get any better for him, and he's never recovered. He moved on then to a qualifying offer, I think it was. I guess it wouldn't be. It was a veteran minimum then. With the Thunder, he was there for about 2 years, and then now he's with the Knicks. He has not recovered. He has never made the kind of money, and he never will, the kind of money he turned down with Dallas. He should, if he had taken the contract, he might have still been in Dallas, or maybe he would have been jettisoned in a deal as Dallas tried to move forward, but you were sold on the idea that he was a bit of a Tyson Chandler starter kit, and I think that was a very, very generous label. I never saw the emotion or fire or leadership from Noel that you saw from Chandler, and that was kind of one of the examples when I wrote about Tyson Chandler recently and what people underestimated from him. Like when they talked about like, oh, well, we need a new Tyson Chandler or a Tyson Chandler starter kit even. They always talked about the on-court stuff and never the actual leadership and fire that he brought and the accountability he brought. You weren't getting any of that from Nerlens Noel. You just had a guy who could play pretty good defense and could rebound and block shots. That's good. There's value. 4 for 70? No. But what he's getting paid now, yeah, I wouldn't mind having him back given what he's paid now, but obviously he's still with the Knicks. So not happening. He returned to New York. So with that being the case, he's realizing now several years removed from that like, oh, well, this is just what I am now. This isn't even like, hey, 1 or 2 years recoups my value and then I can maybe get back to that point again. No, he realizes how badly he messed up. Whether it was taking wretchedly bad advice or something else, something just his own inflated belief in his value and his what he brought to a team. I don't know, but it horribly backfired on him. He realizes now he screwed himself out of it, and he feels he got bad advisement, so he has sued his former agent, Rich Paul, LeBron's buddy Rich Paul, for basically tens of millions of dollars in lost earnings. I think he alleges like $58 million in lost earnings. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. I don't know how much he's made cumulatively in the last 3 years since he made that decision to turn down the 4 for $70 from Dallas, but I'd be willing to bet it's basically the entirety of that lost money. So, yeah, when you're talking about vet minimum for like 2 years, and then I don't know exactly the details of his contract with the Knicks now, but it's nothing crazy. You're talking about a tremendous amount of value lost, and he's not even a starter. That's the boat he's in now. He fell that hard, that far, that fast. And if he had had any sense at all, he would have seen, hey, the Mavericks are a lottery team at the time. A lottery team. They didn't even have Luka Doncic yet. They were desperate. They acquired him in a trade the year before, and they were desperate to hang on to him. And when they threw that contract offer on the table, he should have taken the money and run. Not literally run, like leave, but he should have taken the money and known, hey, I'm set. This is such ridiculously favorable circumstances for me to get this offer. And now he couldn't have known that they were going to get Luka and what Luka was going to be. But even still, look how freaking smart he would have looked today had he just taken the deal and he was now squared away. He would be making a ton of money. Granted, probably enough money that it would have complicated other moves the Mavericks made, like as it pertained to the Kristaps Porzingis trade, as it appended to other moves that they've made as well. But he could have potentially been playing with Luka, with Dallas positioned like it is now, and making a bunch of money. Now, with New York had a good year last year. They won a playoff game. And for that, the city celebrated. I get it. It's been a while there. It's been a minute. But they made good moves this year, too, the Knicks did. I do think they made some good moves. We'll see if they can actually take a next step forward and actually maybe win a playoff series, but I've been saying the same thing in that regard. Damn it, that regard. Ever since it got pointed out to me, I cannot stop saying it. I've been saying the same thing about Dallas. We've been saying the same thing about Dallas for 10 plus years. Can we win a playoff series? Please, sir, can I have some more? Can I have another one? So, I don't know. It's hard to say right now. At least if he was here, had he taken the deal, he'd be making a ton more money than he did going the route he did. Even though he still wound up on a comparably good team just in the Eastern Conference, which has gotten a lot better, by the way, in the last year or so. He turned down a lot of money that he'll never make back, and he'll never have the kind of role that his money basically would have dictated him getting in Dallas. He took the qualifying offer for one more year in Dallas instead, famously went at halftime and ate a hot dog or something. Or no, it was before the game in the media break area. Went in and ate a hot dog knowing he was a DMP or something, and just kind of making an ass of himself. And he was just in this like little petty flex war with Carlisle, which you were never going to win. No one wins those. Now, it doesn't matter now, but yeah. You talk about bad career advice from which a guy will never recover. That's Nerlens Noel and his stint with the Dallas Mavericks. Honestly, guys, I would love to stay and chat. I'm stupid pressed for time. I'm like looking at the schedule and I'm like, there's traffic. It's going to take me like 25 minutes to get there. And it's the first day in this class, so I got to find the stupid building. I probably need to wrap it up now. I don't want to, but I think I need to. I'll try and jump on, if not later today, maybe tomorrow, and we'll run it back for a more proper show. But this is just a quick blurb. I'm going to have to go. I hate that, but it is what it is. Thank you for those watching. Thank you for those who tuned in. MT, what's good? Think he'll be unsuccessful if he sues. I agree. And let's see. Sadeke Charles, what up? And Mom Kruger. Mam Kruger? Yeah. What grade do you give the offseason? Never had a chance. Kyle Lowry, overpaid DeRozan. Still think. What grade would I give? Man, if I'm generous, a B minus. I'd say a B minus. Like, I think you got better, but like nowhere near. Honestly, I would more so say a C plus. You got better, but not near to the degree you needed to based on time and everything else, you know, your situation. But we'll see. We'll see what the growth is. If you get KP playing like he did in the bubble or just something like that, then you're going to take a big step forward regardless. So we'll see. But that's all my time, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back soon. Don't forget to like the video, drop a comment, subscribe, and until next time, remember, every legend was once a prospect. Peace!